Joining us from his office in the Cook County Jail, Sheriff Tom Dart. Sheriff, you've just won a primary on your way to a third term, so congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that.
Thank
Let's get politics out of the way right off the bat. At one point, when Mayor Daley retired, you considered running. Would you consider running against Rahm Emanuel for mayor of Chicago in 2015?
You know, the thing that kept me from it the first time hasn't changed too much. My family's still very, very young, and I enjoy being a good dad more than anything else. And though this job's real demanding in 10, 11-hour days, I, by and large, have my weekends with my kids all the time, and I don't like government more than I love my family. So that's not changed. So I don't really see too many scenarios right now. And I love what I do, too. It's not as if I'm working in a job that I don't enjoy. I mean, I love it. We keep taking on more issues, and there's more to come. So it wasn't hard for me the other night when people asked me, what is it you're going to do in the coming term? It's almost like, how much time do you have?
Well, as you say, you do have a demanding job. Spring is finally here, and in Chicago, unfortunately, that usually means a spike in crime rates and a spike in the jail population. How close are you to capacity here at the jail?
This past winter, I'll be honest with you, because of the severity of it, our population dropped significantly. It always does, but it dropped more than it had recently. So we have a little bit more of a cushion right now than we had definitely last year, for sure. So I am thinking that for the coming year, we should be okay as long as we don't get a crime spike like we had 2 years ago. If we had that, then all bets are off.
Your capacity here is about 10,000.
It's about 10,000.
And how close are you to that right now?
Right now I'm about 8,500, and I have capacity for about another 500 or 600 in downstate beds as well. So I probably have a good 2,000 beds that I could use right now that are empty.
You could use 2,000 beds. What would improve the capacity of the jail? Should Cook County build another jail?
No. I mean, really, the thoughtful approach here would be to direct the attention at where, I'll be honest, where I've been pointing my finger at for the last 4 or 5 years, which is to get our arms around the mental health population that's housed in the jail. I mean, not only should they not be there, I mean, it's an embarrassment, and it ought to be.
Well, they should be there if they've committed crimes. They've been arrested?
The vast majority of them are in on these crimes that I don't think any sane person would suggest are in any ways jeopardizing the republic. I mean, these are minor offenses that are more indicative of someone who's mentally ill.
Such as?
Oh, a retail theft, routinely. We have them in here all the time for stealing something. Possession of narcotics. Frequently these days it's heroin because it's the next best thing to having the prescription drugs that they can't get, and it's a lot cheaper. So those are the majority of them. Now, do we have bad people in here who are also mentally ill? Yeah, we do, but that's the smaller group of them, and they need to be held here. But for this other population, not only is it the humane thing to not to have them here, but fiscally, it gives me the bed space to put the bad people in.
How many of your inmates here are mentally ill?
About 3,500 of the 10,000.
So that's 1 in 3.
Yeah.
Basically.
And that's a conservative estimate, and the reason it's not as precise as you may want it is A, there's a lot of transient population here. I mean, people come and go frequently, A. And B, the diagnosis is a conservative diagnosis. So if you're being diagnosed as being mentally ill at this place, you really are. There's no doubt about it. There's other people that probably are more marginal that could be fit in under some people's definition. So we think the number is higher, but conservatively to say about a third.
So 3,500, you're in effect running a mental health hospital here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we run either the largest or the second largest in the country. If you just analyzed it the way you should, the mental health population, we're the largest.
Do some of your inmates, do some of them actually commit crimes so they'll come in here, get the medications and the treatment that they
Absolutely.
need?
I talk to them myself. I walk around the mental health units frequently, and that population will freely talk to me about virtually anything. And often they'll tell me about the offense they committed was to get back in here. I have them frequently talk to me about how they don't want to leave. This is where they're best taken care of. It's warm. They get their medication. They get fed. No one beats them up. No one targets them out on the street. We've had people, when they've left, try to break back in.
But the county can't really afford it, and the state, as you know, is closing mental health facilities. It's going to close more this year. So what to do?
Well, I would tell you, maybe a little bit of intellectual honesty. Maybe the state should come out and say, listen, we don't care about mentally ill people, so we're shutting everything down.
That's not going to happen.
No, but people should be honest in this world. I mean, the reason the public dislikes politicians so much, and they should, is they lie so frequently, and they obfuscate, and they make everything up where no one ever does anything wrong. And I am so tired of that. People need to step up and be adults and say, listen, if we are concerned about populations, we're going to fund it. If we don't fund it, let's just come out and say we don't care, because it's the same thing. And the point I've been trying to make to people, it would cost so much less. And set aside the humane part of it. It would fiscally be so much smarter to just case manage these people when they leave. Work on just basic housing. I'm not saying let's buy people houses, but I rent beds at numerous locations. We could do that. We could follow up with them to make sure they stay in their meds. And so say even if we just keep them out of here for an additional 3 months, we've saved the system countless thousands of dollars. So there are ways fiscally to do this without anyone crazy saying we need to build 5 more hospitals, we got to staff all of them. No. Case managing the majority of them in the community, it'll work.
On the population here, you woke up to the front pages not long ago of a lawsuit filed by a group of lawyers associated with Northwestern University. They're accusing the jail of having a sadistic culture of violence. You have basically tried to throw cold water on that lawsuit. Why?
Because they made it up. I mean, what do you think would happen if you mass mailed the jail and say, listen, are you interested, detainee, in suing the sheriff and maybe getting money? That's what they did. They mass mailed 300 people in the jail. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, the lawyers say that the jail or the county has settled millions of dollars in lawsuits on civil rights violation in the last few years. So is there some fire where there's smoke?
No, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, this is indicative of it. I mean, here we are at the jail. I believe after we talk, you're going to wander around the jail. Is that indicative of someone that's trying to hide the place? We've had 6 different documentaries done here recently where we basically say, go at it, go where you want, talk to who you want. I'm working with the Department of Justice. I have the Department of Justice in the jail, in the divisions that they have said all these horrible things are going on. And think about these people for 1 second. If they were as concerned as they were about their clients, they apparently knew this information about these horrible conditions for 1.5 years. And guess how many people they informed about this? None. Did they go to a judge? No. Did they go to the public defender's office? No. Did they come to us? No. Did they go to the Department of Justice, who's already here, and say these bad things are happening? No. They didn't go to one person. Can you imagine that? And why would they do that? Why would they do that? Well, it's going to hurt their lawsuit. I mean, this is so fantastic. It's a fictional account that they put together that has me a little bit upset with it. I'm an attorney, and there's times where I'm embarrassed to tell people that. Because here's something where if these folks were sincere in what they were talking about, they could clearly have worked with the Department of Justice, who's already working out here with me. We have federal monitors out here.
You've already got a lot on your plate, and now it looks like you're trying to take on a little bit more in some of the south suburbs, such as Harvey, where people have complained that there's a lot of violence, but very few criminals are ever caught.
There has been a history in the south suburbs of people turning their back on them, where everyone has an excuse why it's not my job, not my job, not my job. And at the end, basically what we are saying is that for people in that community, we don't care. We don't care. The fact you live in there and you have a dysfunctional government, you have a non-existent police department at best, some of them corrupt, we don't care. What we've said is that's not right, and as the only person that has jurisdiction over all of the county, we are going to intervene and do our best to try to bring some level of justice. In some towns, it has meant just working with them as a team.
Are you going to take over policing?
I don't want to. I don't have the resources to do it. What we've done in some towns already is that we've worked with them to bring them up to a certain level of expertise. Some towns we've just taken over their evidence rooms where they've had historic problems there with things missing, to put it into a format where they can then take it from there and work on it. Other ones we've worked with them to try to get their detectives up to skill. In some of these towns they have no detectives that are qualified to handle homicides, and yet they were doing it. And so our goal all along has been to help bring people up to speed and then get out of there. Certain towns like Fort Heights, there is no plan to get out right now because they have no money. But even a town like Robbins, for example, They want to get back to doing all the police work. I want them to do that too. But the caveat is that you have to get it up to a level where reasonable people would agree. Not just me. Reasonable people would say it's a standard we can all get along with.
Sheriff, on that note, we are running shy on time, so thank you very much for
Thanks so much.
sharing with us.
Thanks for coming out.
Mhm.